Hello everybody. Today, to start off with, I want to show you what Paddington's like when it's dinner time. Just have a look at how he reacts. Right, so if I come and get out his food. Oh, he's ready. He's keen. Sit. Wait. Okay. And he's so keen, he's checking that he hasn't missed anything. Right to the bottom of the bowl. And today, I'm going to read the story to you from Acts chapter 17, and we'll just talk it through a little bit as we read. And what I want you to think about is who in the story is a bit like Paddington when they read their Bible. Who treats it a little bit like how Paddington treats his food. Okay, so let's start. So it says, when they passed through Amphipolis and Apollonia, they came to Thessalonica. Okay, so this is Paul and Silas, and they've gone to a city called Thessalonica. As was his custom, Paul went into the synagogue, and on 3 Sabbath days he reasoned with them from the scriptures, explaining and proving that the Christ had to suffer and rise from the dead. So what he's done, he's travelled all the way to that great city, and when he's got there, he's gone to the synagogue where people learn about God, and he started telling them about Jesus, and he did it for 3 days. Didn't just go there once and tell him once. He did it for 3 days. And he said, he didn't just say, let me tell you about Jesus, but he showed it to them in the scriptures. It says he explained it and he proved it and he reasoned to them. That means he showed them how it was true. He said, this Jesus I'm proclaiming to you is the Christ. Some of the Jews were persuaders and joined Paul and Silas, so some became Christians. Hooray! They had a party. But as did a large number of God-fearing Greeks and not a few prominent women. So, woohoo! More people became Christians, but the Jews were jealous. And so they rounded up some bad characters from the marketplace, formed a mob, and started a riot in the city. And they rushed to Jason's house in search of Paul and Silas in order to bring them out to the crowd. But when they did not find them, they dragged Jason and some other brothers, that means other Christians, before the city officials, shouting, these men who've caused trouble all over the world have now come here, and Jason has welcomed them into his house. They are all defying Caesar's decrees, saying that there is another king, one called Jesus. Well, when they heard this, the crowd and the city officials were thrown into turmoil. Then they made Jason and the others post bond and let them go. So Paul and Silas have got in trouble for telling people that Jesus is the king, even though they know that that's true. Well, as soon as it was night, the brothers sent Paul and Silas away to Berea. So they travelled to a different city. On arriving there, they went to the Jewish synagogue. Now the Bereans, so the people from Berea, the Bereans were of more noble character than the Thessalonians. Noble means, well, it's a good character to have. For they received the message with great eagerness and examined the scriptures every day to see if what Paul said was true. Do you see what they did? The Bereans, they received the message with eagerness. That means they said, tell us more about Jesus. We want to know. We want to hear. And then they looked into the Bible every day to find out more. Every day they looked because they wanted to find out more and more and to make sure it was true. And many of the Jews believed, as did also a number of prominent Greek women and many Greek men. Woohoo! They had a party because more people became Christians. But when the Jews of Thessalonica learned that Paul was preaching the word of God at Berea, they went there too, agitating the crowds and stirring them up, and the brothers immediately sent Paul to the coast. But Silas and Timothy stayed at Berea. The men who escorted Paul brought him to Athens, and then left with instructions for Silas and Timothy to join him as soon as possible. So could you tell who were the people that were a little bit like Paddington? I'll give you a clue. They treated the Bible like Paddington treats his food. They were eager, they were keen. Paddington will even sit still until I tell him to go, because he's so keen. He wants me to tell him it's dinner time. They wanted to read every day and find out more and more and more. They didn't just want to hear about the idea about Jesus once, but over and over, because they wanted to really know him and know him well. And so today I want to tell you to be like the Bereans. Be like the Bereans, not just you. I want to tell me to be like the Bereans as well. That means to be eager, to be keen to know more about Jesus. And when we do that, to do it by reading the Bible. Not just reading it, but reading it, thinking about it, asking questions, maybe reading it again. There's lots of different ways we can do that. That's just made me have an idea. For this idea, I need to go to the shops. Okay, so the first thing I have to tell you is that I just saw a guy in the car park trying to drink a can of drink through his mask. Anyway, so I bought myself some Haribo, which I also bought some Chupa Chups. Here's one I opened earlier, because we all know they take like 10 hours to open. And I'm going to eat my Chupa Chup. All right. So I could eat the Haribo straight away. One little bite and it was gone. But when you eat a Chupa Chup, you have to roll it around and around and around in your mouth, take ages to eat it, really make sure you get all that flavour. And when we read the Bible, we should be like the Bereans. We should be like Paddington. We should be eager, hungry, want to know about God. And when we do, then we should dig deeper and deeper and read it more and more. You might read a big Bible like that. You might read a kid's Bible. You might listen to the Bible. And you might read it with your family and ask people questions. And that's why we go to church as well, so we can learn together in kids' church. It's why the adults go to house groups, so that we can know God by reading the Bible over and over and deeper, hungry like a dog for his food. And really rolling it around in our mouths like in our minds like a Chupa Chup. I think somebody else wants a Chupa Chup too.